People who are confused about their healing journey, who would like a bit more clarity and better understand what works for them, watch this short video and I'm going to explain about harvesting and how we can gather data on ourselves in order to figure out which methods are better for you as you develop a personal life design. And plus, if you would benefit from seeing this introduction written down, I'm very, very happy to share a written PDF version. All you have to do is just let me know in the comments and I will send that over for you completely free. Hello, if you don't know, I am Terri-Lee Shield. I am host at Love School. I use my 12 years of personal experience, research, and combine it with my design skills and an intuition for shadow work to provide simple, effective solutions that support a natural, holistic healing journey. And in these videos, I provide bite-sized little pieces of northern wisdom on how we can love ourselves, others, and life. So keep watching this video and I'm going to explain a little bit about harvesting and the main styles of harvesting that we use and how you can find yours. So harvesting is basically collecting and gathering information and then being able to store it so we can extract what we need down the line in the future when we need it. And it's really important to do this because when we actually have an experience, if we're going to, especially, I'm going to relate this specifically to healing, but actually this skill you can use for personal, you can use it for professional. It's an adaptable skill you can use in all sorts of circumstances. But being able to harvest is really important because our memory works in a funny way and we only remember what's important to us in the moment, and we'll pick out certain bits of information that we think is important, and actually there might be a lot more information in that experience that can be useful either down the line or in a different context. So what harvesting does is it gathers as much information as possible, as quickly as possible, and then stores it so that if we need to access that information again in the future, it's there, it's easy to understand, and it's accessible. It's also really important to keep these sorts of records on a healing journey. One, because you can reflect back and see how far you've come. A new situation might arise that it might be relevant to see that information, see how it relates to that, but also because we forget, don't we? And when we're not in an experience, the memory fades. So when we've got that record, we know that that information's there. We can access it anytime we want. And I found with me, it also helped like calm some of my anxiety because I would think, well, I need to remember all this information, and my brain would be trying really hard, working really hard to remember all aspects of information. When actually, now I can harvest if I just write. I like to write, do little bits of symbols and things. That's how I naturally do it. When I've got that, I can relax because I know it's there. And if I need the information in the future, all I have to do is go back, find out where I've stored that information, and it's there for me to use. There are 4 ways to set up scenarios so we can harvest information. We can use our mind. So we can do this with our thoughts, we can create scenarios where we're tapping into our subconscious or creating using our imagination. And that can either be using our logical mind or it can be using our abstract mind. We can tap into our consciousness or our subconsciousness. We also can use our hands. And by that, I mean we can write, we can draw, we can type on the computer, depending on what suits you. We can use our voice, so we can talk. So that might be that you have somebody else with you, and either they ask a question and you respond, or you ask yourself a question and you respond, depending on the circumstances, or a group. And in that case, obviously, you might want to record it as well by hand or with a recording device with a video. And the final way is with our body. So through our gestures, body language, we can use this like role playing. We can use this in an abstract way, like how might my body respond to this stimulus? We can tap into sensations within our own body and see how our body's responding to certain circumstances, or we can view other people. And in order to record that, we might also need to use a video or something like that. You can use all different combinations of the harvesting styles depending on what it is you're trying to harvest, what it's for. what feels natural, but it's really good to experiment. It was really important for me to experiment with all the different ways of harvesting that information. And like I say, I tend to write. That's my natural way. I like to write it with my hands and speak. Sometimes I'll speak. I'll even speak out loud and write. You know, you can combine the different harvesting techniques to gather as much information as possible. Very often I am also using my mind and my hand work in tandem to collect that information, especially if it's something personal. You can play with all these different techniques when you have free time if you want. It doesn't have to be anything really deep. You can play with pretending you are someone else and how they might respond with role plays and things. You can do it with like say in relation to professional circumstances, personal circumstances, in your relationships. You can just play for a little while and then you'll naturally find what works best for you, what you feel more comfortable with. In like a group scenario, you might want to invite a couple of people to harvest, someone who's maybe more visual and can sketch, and somebody who's really good at recording, or somebody who's really good at writing, keeping written notes. You might want to consider all this depending how important the harvesting of that information is. But this skill is really useful for when we're doing natural healing, because we can keep records, as I said, for ourselves, and we can learn from them and really get to know ourselves better, and then create an active life design. That'll be really useful later on. I hope you enjoyed this video. That's all I'm going to give you for now. If you would benefit from seeing this in a written format on a PDF, I have that, and I am very happy to share it with you. If you want to get a copy, just let me know in the comments and I will send it over. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.